Fam, what's up? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Run the thumbs up on these videos. Look, Alabama, I felt it was a tale of two halves. I felt that Alabama's defense, yes, the defense, made second half adjustments. Therefore, they're able to come up with some big stops. I thought Keon Savvy had the play of the game, coming up with that interception, and Alabama able to beat Vanderbilt by a score of 30-14. I have my post-game show already about Alabama and Vanderbilt. If you want to watch that, it's in the description. But I want to talk to you about a couple other games around college football because, look, I have a bone to pick with Texas. All right, Texas, you lost again. This program is underperforming. You lose to Billy Napier on the road. I told you in my pregame show this morning, this was a team that was on upset alert, and that's Texas, okay? Arch Manning is not the guy. He's not doing the job that everybody thought he would be doing. And I'll tell you what, this quarterback over here, the University of Alabama, this is everything that the media, the national media, wanted Arch Manning to be, okay? What's happening here in Florida tonight was embarrassing for Texas. I can't even imagine what they're saying and how they're trying to sugarcoat this. Billy Napier was a guy that everybody thought was going to lose his job. Well, guess what? He's going to save his job, and now Steve Sarkisian is 0-1 in SEC play. Guess what? Texas, they played Ohio State, they lost. They played Florida, they lost. 2 games on the road, they lost. Okay, so something's going on at Texas. I don't know what it is. I have another bone to pick, and that is with Penn State. Look, the national media, again, they were hyped up on Penn State. This is the team. They're going to do it. I was like, how? They never do it. It's the same story again and again and again. They can't win the big game. They lost to Oregon at home. They go across the country to UCLA. Mind you, UCLA had not even won a game this season, and they beat Penn State 42-37. You know what's going to really piss me off, though, okay, as we get the top 25 and all these make-believe rankings. In Penn State, just watch me. Watch this what happened, okay? Penn State will be rewarded for coming back and making it a game. I'm telling you, they'll be like 12th or something like that. It's ridiculous. Get Penn State out of here. They're a pretender, okay? And that's just it. You're going to just have to deal with it. And that's just the way. That is embarrassing. Okay, Oklahoma took care of Kent State without a quarterback. Okay, that's fine. We have Texas A&M, Mississippi State, that game, 73. I told you. For me, Texas A&M, I heard like Pat McAfee was really big on Texas A&M. I get it. Jury's still out for me. I think Mississippi State's a pretty good football team. And this one, I thought Florida State would play better. Maybe they'll turn it up in the second half, but Miami looks pretty good. There was a couple other games that I wanted to highlight. Georgia beats Kentucky. Not worried about that. This is another one. Iowa State, they were at one point, this game was 31-7. Iowa State, you want to come to the SEC? You want to come and play that gauntlet of a schedule? No, you don't. Iowa State, get out, okay? Get out of the way. This one is kind of weird. Michigan beats Wisconsin by a score at 24-10. Okay, the only thing that I'd like to see right here is, Justice Haynes is absolutely balling, right? Another game for 100 yards. Guy's been playing extremely well. But this is where I get really heated, all right? It is Notre Dame, all right? These guys won 28-7. Okay, they're supposed to win by like 21 or whatever. They are going to get rewarded big time for beating Boise. I'm telling you, these guys, you have to beat Notre Dame 5 times to get them out of the college football playoff rankings. I'm serious. They have 2 losses, and I said this on the post game for me. All right, me and Coach Saban, I don't agree with much that Coach Saban says, right? But he likes Notre Dame, and I don't. I think they're a pretender, and they will be rewarded for beating Boise State. Trust me. Illinois, another pretender out of the Big Ten. I'm serious. The same thing. Look, I like Indiana's quarterback, but I think they're a pretender. And the reason I said that is come over to the SEC. Play in this Shark Tank week to week. It's different than playing Purdue. I promise you. All right, Virginia, they find a way to beat Louisville by a score of 30-27. Other games, you have BYU, who was able to beat West Virginia. Look, I think when you go back to Alabama and Vanderbilt, look, this game, it was interesting because in the first half, I felt like Alabama's defense was struggling. Yeah, I felt like Vanderbilt, they had receivers that were wide open. I felt that, they allowed 2 big chunk yardage plays once again. But to be honest, Alabama really, they changed it up in the second half. I mean, look, after Vanderbilt scored, right, a touchdown, a 65-yard run, and then another touchdown on the shovel pass, look after. Vanderbilt, truth is, Vanderbilt had, they punted when they came out at halftime. They punted again. Alabama had a field goal and a field goal. Okay, so at this point right here where we're at, Diego Pavia is driving the team down. There's 12 minutes left in this game. And Vanderbilt, I don't know, they score a touchdown. They go up 21-20. Keon Sabb comes up. So the defense came up 3 times, 3 big times in this game for Alabama. So kind of the cap off was Jam Miller. I do feel there's a couple things. This guy's playing absolutely elite. 23 at 31, Jam 22 of 136, just absolutely balling out of control. But, and I think he's a weapon. But when you look to Ryan Grubb, and I'll have more on this on Sunday morning, this guy, I thought, tonight, and I haven't really said a lot of negative things about Grubb, and I'm not going to, but I do question. This guy loves gadgetry. It's the weirdest thing. It's like Alabama came out, and after they got Vanderbilt to punt, they have a 3rd and 5, right, with me? And 3rd and 5, okay, get it to Ty and maybe hand off to Jam or, something across, the middle of crossing pattern to Josh Cuevas. You come out and Wildcat, right, with Jeremy Bernard. That was strange. I didn't like that call. But I did like this call, right? And you have big Kanan Proctor right here. You hand it off to him. He moves the chains. He catches the pass. He runs for a pass. I like it, okay? Kane Womack, where are we at, okay? It's like this constant thing with him. It's like up, down, up, down. I think, honestly, we left the game against Vanderbilt, and we liked him, okay? Because we're like, you made adjustments. And the first half, should have seen on the show, we were going crazy. We're like, he's the guy. He needs to go. Pack him up. And then the second half, we're like, defense playing well. Defense doing a good job. Good job. Okay. And now we enter the next game against Missouri, another top 15 offense. And, I think as an Alabama fan, you're cautiously optimistic that the defense is getting a little bit better. I think if you zoom out, you're like, all right, I know Alabama has a really good offense. And I know if they go lightning mode, they can put points on the board. I know that Jam Miller's back. You can do a lot of different things with Jam Miller, right? I think the defense, you're allowing chunk yardage plays. It's kind of, been the theme. And then special teams, you're like, damn, do we have an issue with the field goal kicker? But then again, he made 3. He was 3 of 4. So, look, this was a really good win. 30-14 against what I feel is a very good Vanderbilt team. I knew they would win. I think my score prediction was somewhat close. What I have at 38-17, so somewhere in that ballpark. This is a good football team. They're not elite yet, but they're taking steps forward weekly. 2-0 in SEC play. I'll take it. I love it. Big win. Celebrate it till 12 p.m. tomorrow. Turn the page to Missouri. I appreciate you guys being here. Drop a thumbs up inside the comment box. News as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube.